Sweet, I think we're live. What's up, everybody? How is it going? Give me just a minute to pull this all up. To start off, happy Mother's Day, everyone. I told my mom happy Mother's Day, and she said the one thing that she wants for Mother's Day from me is for me to comb my hair before my next live. So I did. I don't know if she notices, but I just went ahead and combed it for her. I don't like combing my hair, um, just because that's my preference, but I don't think it's a big deal to comb it either, so it's whatever. What's up, Flinker, Pamela? Welcome to the live, episode 12. I have the lights off for this one because, also, dang it, I wanted to try to have music playing, but I don't know if that's going to be annoying. Let me see how loud it is. Welcome to the live, episode 12. I have the lights off because well, just let me know if the music's too loud at all. Copyrighted instrumental music just going, so I thought it would be cool. I like having like background noise and stuff, so yeah, I tried to find some of the cool non-copyrighted music. There's not a lot of options. Non-copyrighted music is hard to find. I try to put them inside of my videos and stuff. Um, and sometimes I'll get it and it says non-copyrighted, but then YouTube will still think it's copyrighted and it won't let me upload it. So I have to be really picky about the music I choose for these videos. But welcome everyone. Welcome Anthony. Welcome Lark, Pamela, Ken, Dana. Heck yeah. I hope you guys are excited for a good live. This one, it's gonna be a little bit different. I've just kind of like been thinking about a lot of the stuff that's happened throughout the week. I've been around a lot of order members and talking with them and stuff, and so I just have a lot of things on my mind that I want to share. And I went back to the last live because there was just a lot of comments and things being brought up and talked about, and I wrote them all down. And I wanted to say I wrote a little list of everyone because I wanted to say thanks to like. Oh hey, what's up, Arlen? Nice. Wow, we got a lot of people on the live today. That is awesome. Heck yeah. Dang. Yeah, so I hope you guys are ready for it. It's gonna be fun. I want to get a lot of you guys' thoughts. The last video we had so many comments that I wasn't able to get to all of them. So I did go through and I created a little list of them, and I want to say thanks to let me see really quickly. There's a lot of people. Thanks to everyone for sure, but I want to specifically say thanks to Alice, Susan, Pamela, who else? There was quite a few more. Jennifer. I went back and I saw a lot of your really good comments that I wanted to bring up in this video today. And just to talk a little bit about them, I don't know for sure if, sorry, sometimes it gets a little bit loud. And there was quite a few things that they needed, and I simply reached out to Patreon and asked a lot of people who could help, or like if there's certain things that they could send and whatnot. And it was just really cool. A lot of people reached out, a lot of people offered to send more stuff and to even just like ask him what he needs specifically, and they would be happy to help out and send him stuff. So I thought that was really cool. I want to say thank you guys. The comments are also kind of like deep thoughts, a lot of interesting things to talk about. It is going to talk a little bit about religion on some aspects. Last time we dove into talking about alcohol and our beliefs on that and everything, and some of you guys made a joke about dipping if we're going to go and start preaching and all that stuff. So fair warning, we're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. I feel like this live is going to be a little more interesting, but it's not going to have as many answers. I'm going to try to answer you guys' questions the best that I can. But I gotta be honest, like a lot of this stuff, I'm just trying to like figure out what I think about it, or like how I would address it, or respond to these types of scenarios and situations. So yeah, there's no guarantee on where exactly we're going to lead in all of this. I just have a lot of good comments to bring up and to talk about. And I want to share the story of the person that has recently left and kind of get you guys an idea on it, just to let you guys know what are some of the things that the current people that are trying to leave are going through, maybe a few things that are different and whatnot. Because with this one in particular, what stood out to me is just how unprepared I was personally. It's kind of interesting because I feel like I'm always trying to encourage people to leave an environment if it might be restrictive, or if it's the people around them aren't letting them have the freedom that they deserve and stuff like that. So I was really surprised when finally someone did, and it was kind of all in a rush and everything, but I wasn't very well prepared. I honestly was super busy, and I had the hardest time being able to get everything situated for them, get them connected with holding out help, and just to figure out everything. And so I was definitely caught by surprise, and I'm basically taking this to try and do better, trying to figure out what are the things that they'll need, and so that I could prepare ahead of time to just have it ready for them. And basically, the bottom line is I want to be able to help. And so I'm going to do my best to do just whatever I can to have things ready for them, and to, I think, have more of a way of asking you guys for a little bit of help too. A lot of you guys have reached out to me on Instagram, sending me messages or just commenting on my videos, interacting with me on Patreon, asking about ways that you can help. Now I feel like I'm getting a lot more opportunities to help. And so I'm finding ways to be able to post that to you guys, to just share the information with you all for any of you guys that want to be involved and to help out. So that would be awesome. It was really cool though. I enjoyed it, even though it was very hectic and crazy. The person that reached out to me caught me off guard. I was very surprised, but I was super happy to just talk with them, kind of be there for them. They there was just a lot of things that they needed. I talked about in my Patreon how even as simple as a toothbrush, a lot of the times when you leave in a rush, you don't think a whole lot about what you might need and stuff like that. And I was able to help them out. I was super grateful, and a lot of the people on Patreon was actually able to send stuff to the P.O Box that Amanda and I have, and so I didn't have to do it all on my own. It was awesome to have the support from you guys. Even Jacob Swanson is always showing how much he appreciates all you guys' help and support. It's been really cool. Um, but yeah, just a lot of little, even simple things, helping them to start a bank account because they've never had a bank account before, other than the order type of accounts that they have. We helped them with the resume. It was really cool. A lot of simple things that they've never had to do in the order, and it just kind of brought me back. It brought back a lot of memories to me of just what it was like when I left. And like I say all the time, like I feel like I see myself in a lot of these people that are leaving, and it's just so cool to be able to help out and to be a part of just showing them kind of like the outside world, and just helping them along the way and stuff like that. So, um, let's see. Long time no see. What do you mean, Jennifer? I see you guys pretty often, especially those who are subscribed to my Patreon. I'm trying to, I know I forget, but almost every other day, or at least 3 or 4 times a week, then between my YouTube lives, my YouTube videos, and my Patreon lives, then I see you guys pretty often. I cannot hear you. Ah! Is the music too loud, Kim? No sound, no sound. We can't hear you. Let's see. Wonder what I have to change. Hold on. I didn't even realize you had one that I could follow. LOL. Wait. Is the sound working, you guys, or no? Hold on just a second. There's 40 people here. Eskel, you're so sweet. Let's see. Well done for helping someone out. Who is it? Hey. Hey, Eskel. Oh, that's another tough thing. Oh, it's back. Well, I don't know why the sound stopped. Sorry, guys. Wonder what's up with that. There's a lot of stuff with YouTube I'm still learning. I am really surprised. Like, I admire anyone that has a YouTube channel way more now, because I had no idea how much work goes into the videos. It can be tough, and there's just a lot of things you gotta learn. Like, flip, I swear, I've had college classes that are easier than what it's been to figure out all this YouTube stuff. So that's been a learning curve, but I'm learning new things and learning more stuff every day. So that's been cool. Um, well done. Okay, that's right. So I know a lot of you guys were gonna ask, who is it? Everyone wants to meet him. He really wants to be able to share his story and go on here as soon as he can. I don't want to pressure him at all, though. So I'm just leaving it up to him. I told him, like, we're super excited for him too, if he ever does, whenever he's ready. But I don't want to pressure him at all. He's very back and forth. He was going to come onto it, and then he wasn't. And then he wanted to share his specific details of his story, and then he decided to wait till next week. And then he's kind of thinking maybe he'll wait a couple of weeks. We'll see. But I was able to talk to him a ton, and it's been awesome. He's super like down for me to share any of the details of his story, to talk about it and stuff. But he's just gonna wait to show his face. I'm not exactly sure why, but there's a lot of pressure to it. It's all 100% up to him. So we're just leaving it at that. I appreciate you guys wanting to meet them and are excited to like hear their story and stuff. I've loved being able to like just interact with him and to help him out. He's a really cool guy. So yeah, don't worry though. I'm sure we'll be able to share more and more as time goes on, and he'll get more and more comfortable. He's really learning everything right now, just, I don't know, figuring it all out. So it's been really cool. Are they coming on today? Yeah, see, I knew a lot of you guys were going to ask about that. And it's funny because I did kind of hint towards it because they really were excited to and they wanted to. But last minute they changed their mind, so it's fine. There's nothing we can do about that. But I didn't even realize, oh, oops. There should be a list compiled for those. Yeah. Casey Still, you're exactly right. I talked a little more about this on my last Patreon video. I want to create like survival kits or something like just basic need essential kits to better help anyone that just leaves in a rush or just that might need them, or like that can't really plan ahead. Because ideally, of course, we would want anyone who's going to leave the order, like, let us know a month in advance. We can start working things out, get the proper help that you might need, get things ready for like an apartment and stuff like that. But it like rarely ever works out that simply. Even it was actually super funny. So this person, he did reach out to me like probably, I don't know, it's hard to say exactly, but roughly a week or so. And he's like, he had to keep it like super secret. We just met somewhere that no one would guess that he would be at. And I just got like a brief few minutes to talk with him. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving in the future and like just want to get things ready, yada yada. Like, and he was like making it sound like in a few months, maybe a few weeks, like plenty of time. And I was like, heck yeah, that's awesome. Get prepared, start saving money. Just trying to give him advice, tell him things that helped me. The very next day, though, he shows up and he's like, all right, I left. I grabbed all my stuff that I could think of, and I'm not going back. I was like, dang. Okay, this is a rush, but that's fine. I totally understand. I know exactly how that is, so we'll figure it out. And the conversation, like, it was awesome, like, super interesting and stuff, but, like, a part of it kept on, like, I don't know, like, stabbing me in the heart, like, it brought back a ton of emotions. I couldn't help but, like, feel really sad, because he was just talking about all the hard things he was going through, and he would say things like, I don't even care if I have to sleep in my car, like, I'm gonna make things work. And he would say that pretty much anything would be better than having to go back. And that really, like, stuck with me. And yeah, it was just really intense. But I'm really proud of them. They're doing awesome. They're really brave for sure. Yeah. And they were really positive. They were going through some stuff that I feel like would have brought me down, maybe made me depressed or things like that. But he was like, just like happy to be able to do his own thing. he was excited for it more than anything. He expressed how he was very anxious and nervous and stuff like that, but he said above all of that, he was like excited for his new chapter. He's hyped. So I think great things are going to come from him. Let's see what we got. Oh, Caroline, thank you so much. Would it be helpful if we made things like resume templates or how to open a bank account papers and send you a link so you can print it out for them? Yeah, things like that would definitely help. There's a lot of even just the basic things that they've never had to do in the order. I was able to, a lot of them, like I've been through it though. So that's why I was so glad to be able to like be there for them and help them out because I've gone through it all and I feel like we were able to do it so much faster with me helping him than when I went through it for the first time. I remember being so like confused about how to start a bank account, the difference between a debit card and a credit card, and just simple stuff like that. How to even like connect my work with my bank account so I could get, the direct deposits instead of having to get the checks every time and whatnot. All that stuff. Um, I'm trying to think because, like, honestly, I think the best way is just for them to have connections with people to help them with that stuff. Because I'm sure having different papers and documents and like Googling it is always going to help. They can always, there's so much you can learn on YouTube, on Google, just figuring it out. Um, but for me personally, my favorite is like making personal connections with people, being able to connect them with someone that they may be able to like build a friendship with, or be able to get their help with setting up this type of stuff, getting the proper connections with like holding out help and stuff like that. There are so many resources out there, and it's just about finding them, getting them connected to it, and helping them figure it all out. So I think it's awesome. This whole community it like changes the game. It makes everything new. It's a whole nother way of being able to learn new things, get more information, meet new people, get connected with new organizations and new ways to help. um, Caroline, that's such a great idea. Oh yeah. Um, Yeah, and I definitely wanted to bring this up because Holding Out Help has helped a ton. They have lots of donations go to them. I know Amanda donates a lot all the time. There's lots of links where anyone can go to them and donate. And really, what I was doing is not trying to do anything different from Holding Out Help. I still want anyone that has the ability to donate to Holding Out Help or to send them resources and stuff like that. I would strongly encourage that. The only thing that I'm doing slightly different is more immediate support right away that can be a little bit more instantaneous, because with Holding Out Help, they're a bigger organization dealing with a lot of things going on. They're like working on like buying entire houses to have places for people to leave. They work with not just like people that have left the order, but people that have left the LDS cult, other different organizations that need that extra help as well. And so they have a lot that's going on. And so we went to them and talked with them, and they're definitely going to be able to help out, but they need a couple of weeks till they have a place for them. And it takes just it takes a little bit of time for them to use all of their resources, I guess, to help out, which is fine because they're a lot more permanent. They can have a more permanent place for them. They have a just a little bit more, I guess, than what I would be able to help out with. But what I'm trying to do is just have like really quick stuff that'll get them by for the first few days or a week or so. Simple things like that, the care baskets and stuff like that, or even like what I really want to do is start some sort of a GoFundMe or something to be able to put money towards like almost like a safe house, but it would just be like a simple, cheap way of getting like an Airbnb like right away when they need it and stuff, so they don't have to stay in their cars, and just other resources, So it's just like an extension onto it. Um, because I can just do anything, like I don't have to follow any regulations or like get approval from the whole like groups of people or whatever, like Holding Out Help has to. I can simply just when people reach out to me, I can connect with them. I can like take the time to like figure out what they need, talk with them, and just kind of like walk them through the whole steps. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's a little bit different, but it's just the way I know how to help out and things like that. Let's see. I'll try to work on them and send it to Amanda. Hey, Eskel, so glad I was able to make it. Yeah, welcome, Anima. Welcome, Caroline. I forgot to say welcome to a lot more people. We got a lot of people today. It was awesome. Could be because Amanda's live went so well this morning. There's a ton of people on her live as well. It was awesome. Welcome premium order kids, Dana, Jenny, Lulu, Jackie, Emma. Nice. Wow. We do got a lot of people. That's awesome. Um, Sweet. Well, let's shift gears a little bit. I want to share a few of. Let me grab them. Sorry. Oh, I thought I had more pictures. I had printed out a lot of pictures and stuff to put on, and I thought that I couldn't fit very many, but since I squished them all up, I was able to get a ton of pictures up. So, turned out pretty good. I'm gonna try to fill up the whole wall, but I'm thinking I'll probably need to get like picture frames or something for them, because I'm a little bit worried. They're just hanging up with tape right now. So I'm gonna try to figure out what would be better to keep them in better condition and stuff like that. Because printing pictures are expensive, you guys. I'm sure you guys know this, but this is my first time ever trying to print this many pictures, and it's expensive. It's not easy, that's for sure. What? Tell him. Oh, heck yeah. So Premium Order Kids just commented, tell this new person, whoever he is, that Jacob and I are always free to hang out. So Jacob actually got to meet him. There was a really nice lady that donated tickets to a rugby game. So I was inviting a lot of just ex-order members to go. And Jacob was able to come, and I went with them. And it was really cool. It was kind of funny. It made me realize that I can relate to them so much. I came from a cult. I'm just a cult kid still, pretty much, because when we went to this rugby game, I remember walking into the stadium and like seeing it, and it's like my first time ever going to one, and I was like, I know nothing about rugby. Like I saw the ball that they were using, and I had seen it in one video one time in the past, but I was like, I've never been to a rugby game. I've never like heard about it. I don't know anything about it. But I a little bit was like, I don't know if I should say. Should I like ask them? And then when the game started going, like they started calling things, and like we were doing certain plays and stuff that I just didn't understand. And I was like, okay, well, what does that call mean? And I started asking some of them. And then Jacob turns over to me and he's like, what? I have no idea. I didn't know rugby even existed until you invited me to this. So it turns out all of us were just there not knowing anything about rugby, and we were just watching it. We still had a good time. It was great, but it was just really funny that none of us knew anything about it. But maybe it's just not as popular, or maybe it's just because we grew up in a cult. I don't know, but I never really knew much about rugby. I don't know that much about sports, and I guess I'm just not a huge sports guy or something, but yeah, that's how it was for us. But it was still fun. We had a lot of fun. We cheered when the rest of the crowd was cheering. We kind of learned a little bit, figured out a little bit of how the game works and stuff, why they would call some of the fouls and whatnot. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I liked it. The fireworks were my favorite part. They had fireworks at the game. I didn't know they did. That was normal. I thought it was so cool. That was a lot of fun. Lulu, you missed our convo about your ghost service? LOL. Maybe that's an inside joke. I don't know. But that's cool. That's what I was thinking myself. Yeah, see, so many people want to be able to help out. That's what I think is awesome. You and Amanda should do a video with Holding Out Help to show the resources they have available for people interested in leaving. Yeah, that would be really cool. I think we could do a video describing how Holding Out Help has helped us a lot. They have a lot of resources, like helping people to get apartments. They have therapists. They are more of an organization, though. So if we did, I don't know how we would do a video with Holding Out Help necessarily, because it's like a huge group of people. But like, I don't know, we could do a video about Holding Out Help and talking about it and stuff. Talk about all those resources and things like that. So that's a really good idea. I'll have to bring that up. I already have a video planned with Amanda, though, because I said that I've done interviews with other people, and like I've had videos with Amanda, but I've never actually done an interview video with Amanda on my channel. I've done one on her channel, but I've never done one on mine. So I was like, okay, the next one, we're already thinking of like questions to ask during it, what different things that we want to bring up and stuff. But that's the next one. Once Amanda's back in Utah, then I'm planning on doing one of those with her. So I think that'll be cool. She's in a lot of my lives though, and so that is my lives do end up being a lot of like interview types of videos too. So yeah, she has been a lot of my stuff. I've just never done a specific asking questions to her, like things that maybe I want to know, or like things that are a little more personal to her situation. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Let's see. I feel like I hear soft piano music playing in your house, Eskel. Yeah, if you guys probably missed the beginning part, but I'm trying like I have the lights off mostly just because I have a migraine right now and I don't like the lights being super bright, so I'm trying to do it just in a little bit lower lighting setting. And I wanted to try. I have a bunch of this like non-copyrighted music, like background music, so it's playing. It was a little bit too loud earlier, so I turned it down, so it might be too quiet to even really hear it. But I just wanted to try to see what it'd be like having a little bit of music in the background. Because that's how it is for me all the time. Normally, I always have music playing, and so yeah, just wanted to add that in. I like the photos. Thanks, guys. I took a long time deciding which photos to print out because yeah, it's not cheap, and I I guess I was just really picky. I wanted to get the best ones and stuff. It was really tough to do, but it was fun. I love going through all my old photos. I have way too many though. My phone, I'm sure you guys know that. Like everyone nowadays takes so many pictures. It is wild. I worked at a printing shop, so I can hook you up. LOL. Really, Dana? Are you in Utah though? I think shipping would be just as expensive. I don't know, but I am an artist, and trust me, printing photos and artwork is expensive. Yeah, that could be tough. Amanda's painting, still available. If any of you guys want to buy it, it's on her website. Oh, I do got to correct that. So last time I kept saying Amanda's website is Culty Cup of Coffee, but no, it is justcultythings.com. Justcultythings.com. Shoot, I'll have to ask her how she spells it. Dang it. Amanda, if you're on, you should put it in the comments because I keep forgetting, and I thought it was cultycupofcoffee.com, but it's not. It's just cultythings.com or something. Just cultythings, I think. But I finally have one of her cups. It was pretty cool. I got to do this unboxing video because I was the first one, even before Amanda, because they got shipped to here where I was at. And so I got to be the first ones to go and open them up. So I decided for the first time anyone ever seeing them, then I would film a little video and post it. And this is what it looks like now, though. It's got the paintings that we worked on. I love the saying that it has. It's stressed, blessed, and coffee obsessed. And then just culty cup of coffee. And it's got all the little sayings and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I was surprised at how well the paintings turned out on them too. They look really cool. They're the ones that I was able to help her with as well. So I feel like I contributed to it. It was a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever seen rugby played, but I met a rugby player from Australia once. Okay. Yeah, I think rugby is less common, and that could be a big part of why none of us had any idea what to expect from it. It's really popular in Queensland. Eskel, go to the dollar store and get those clear acrylic frames. Yeah, I definitely want to get frames for them because I love these pictures and I want them to last a long time. And I hope the tape that's on the back of them isn't going to ruin them or anything. But yeah. Oh no, sorry. You have a migraine. Yeah, I get headaches pretty often. It's funny because sometimes it'll like turn into a migraine and then go back to just being a bit of a headache and then kind of go back and forth. Lighting makes a big difference. When it's like really bright outside or the lights are really bright, then it irritates it more. But when it's really like, I guess just like chill lighting, like dim lighting, like right now, then it's usually not a big deal. So yeah, I hope the footage is decent. It's hard for me to tell on my iPad, but I'm sure it's not quite as bright and like it's a little bit harder to see stuff without all the lights on and everything. But I figured most of it is just about what we're talking about. I just really wanted you guys to see the pictures. That's why I have the little light shining on them in the back. But that's the main thing. You guys don't even have to see me, honestly. As long as you can see the pictures, that's what matters. So, Denise, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Um, what was I gonna say about that? You guys are awesome. Uh, I kept on telling them the wrong website though, Amanda. So you should comment below. I missed you too. um, yeah, if you could comment your website, it's like just Culty Tings or something like that. I don't remember what the spelling is though, because I'm really bad at spelling. But if you could put it in the comments, that'd be great. What else was I gonna say? Mm-hmm. Even though you feel ill. Nice. Heck yeah, Flicker Fade. Flicker Fade says, OMG, sorry about the migraine. I'd be in bed and not caring about a single thing happening in the world. Yeah, when I get really sick, I'm that same way. I just like to sleep for like 14 hours straight because I feel like sleep cures so many things, you guys. It is awesome. We still have people over from Mother's Day at my brother's house, but I needed a little break, so I went to my computer and saw you were on. It looks fine. Oh, thanks, Denise. Amanda still hasn't posted it yet, but hopefully she'll post her website. I could also just look it up. Let me see if I could find it. If I just type in just Culty Things. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Give me just a minute here. One idea that I wanted to run by all of you guys is what are some of the biggest questions? Well, actually, sorry, I didn't even get to the comments from last time. That's right. I love getting ideas from you all because when I am like thinking about interviews that I want to have with people, or even like my next, what is it? Man, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, when I'm trying to set up that whole interview that I'm gonna hopefully be, if things work out, I'll be able to do an interview with an insider and kind of muffle their voice and have them, probably the easiest is just have them behind the camera, I'm thinking, because it'd be kind of hard to have them in the camera shot and then have to like blur them or something. I may do that if I can get good enough at that. I'll do it that way. It's funny. I asked like any order members that want to be on it, like let me know. I've got like 3 people that are already like, as long as you can assure me that I can like remain anonymous and stuff, I'll do it. And I was like, okay. And that's why it's gonna take a while. I have to practice, make sure that like it's altered enough that you won't be able to tell who it is, and that probably have them behind the camera so there's no like risking it if they're not blurred enough and people can guess who they are. Because it's so funny, like order members themselves, they want to be on these channels, they want to be involved in them, and they would love to be able to share information. They're just really scared about it, and I know exactly why. When you're in the order, you have to pretend like you 100% supportive. You can't like give any hints that you might be questioning or want to leave, otherwise they start treating you differently. It's like, I don't know, you have to be very fake in a lot of ways, and it kind of sucks. But I'm super grateful that people are reaching out to me already. They're happy and willing to be able to be kind of like the insider, if you guys have ever seen the show. Just someone on the inside that's secretly giving information, which is happening all the time. Like I can always text people and get information, or like get answers to questions that I might not know, or because I've been out for so long, there's a lot of changes that have happened, like the new numbers that have been assigned to the new numbered men and stuff like that. But I can easily get that information just by reaching out to different people in the order. Um, and it was just surprising. Like I just mentioned that on my last video, and people have been reaching out to me, and it's been awesome. I think it also may have been a big part of what connected me to people that are considering leaving too. I've had quite a few people asking questions about like what would their first steps be if they did want to leave and stuff like that. A lot of them are kind of like they don't want to straight out say, "Hey, I'm leaving" or "I want to leave" or whatever. They're kind of careful about how they say it and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting, but it's been good so far. So good. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, I like that they trust me. They know that they can reach out to me and they can get help from me for sure. Let's see. OMG, an interview with an insider would be so interesting. Exactly, right? I think it'll be cool. It's gonna be hard though because just like you guys saw last time, a lot of that when there was order members commenting a lot on the channel, like it got pretty heated, and that's why. Sorry, hold on. That's why I chose some of these questions that you guys had in the comments, and I just want to talk a little bit about uh, a lot of controversy about what it'll be like when we are helping a lot of people to leave, or when we are doing interviews with people that are maybe on the fence, or even like some of the interviews I want to do with people that don't want to leave at all, that are 100% support of polygamy and of the order and everything that the order does. And I don't know. I've been realizing it's going to be a little bit harder than I thought. And what I want most of all is to not argue, not cause fights and stuff like that. And so, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But there's only one way to find out really how it'll go, and it's to try it out. So I'm definitely going to try it full send, see how it goes. But if, I don't know, if it ends up being a really weird video, then maybe it'll be interesting. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. You need one of those Darth Vader voice changers. Yeah, honestly, that would be cool. Can't wait to see the interview. This is huge that you are giving people their voices back. Hey, Eskel, go deep as you can when you muffled the sound. Yeah, that's what they want too. And so I'm also worried because when you do like the voice alterer, um, like to everyone around them, they won't be able to tell who it is. But that person that knows who they are and like knows their own voice and hears it muffled might feel like, oh, I can still recognize myself in that, you know? And so, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be kind of hard, but we'll figure it out. We'll see what we can do. Hey, Eskel, have the insiders suck helium before they start the. That's pretty funny. No, I don't want to kill all their brain cells, but that would be kind of funny. You should have ground rules. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of ground rules, but I don't want to put too many because like I want it to be super raw, you know. I want to it's been 6 years since I've talked to someone and like had a deep conversation about them wanting polygamy and supporting it. And I remember growing up, I remember being even like 16, 17 and talking to these ladies that are like, polygamy's great, it's the best thing in the world. And me just being like, okay, that's like what I grew up with, that's what I grew up around, but it just felt weird to me, you know? I haven't experienced that for like 6 years. It's gonna be really interesting to kind of like hear and see the thought process of someone that's 100% in support of it and stuff like that, you know? So it'll be kind of wild. But the thing is, it's also like the reason why it can't. I was asking for a representative of the order is because these interviews with just the like the insider type of stuff, it's literally just going to be one person. You know, like their answers are going to depend on their specific situation, their families. Like for example, because I've already met up with some of them, and I've been kind of like running some of the questions by them, getting their ideas because they're a little bit worried too. They don't want to be surprised by the questions that I'm asking, so I kind of let them know some of the things that I'm going to ask them. And a lot of it was I don't know, it was just very interesting. For example, like a big one was what is like their personal reasons for either wanting to stay or even like if it's not necessarily them wanting to stay, it's like why are they in support of it, you know, like what are their reasons for supporting it and wanting to stay a part of it and not like, you know, seek out maybe other options and stuff like that. And the answers that they gave, they, I don't know, I felt like it was really hard to, what's the best wording for this? They would give answers that I feel like made a ton of sense to them, and like they thought they were being really clear and like very understanding and detailed and stuff. But when hearing it, like, to me anyway, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. It wasn't super clear. And so I'm like, I would keep on asking them follow-up questions, and they would just kind of like keep repeating their answer, you know? And so a lot of the stuff it didn't go anywhere, and it was just really hard to like want to, I guess, not say necessarily push their buttons, but want to like get their raw emotions about it and their like deep thoughts on like their conversion and how they can feel so strongly about something that they've been born into and raised their whole life and never experienced anything else and stuff like that. And it was just really hard to do that. I think some of the questions did kind of get to them, and they, especially when they had to really think about them, there were some questions that they had never really thought about. And so yeah, they, those ones were really interesting, and I had a lot of fun. Maybe I should just share some of them. So after talking with them a lot, I kind of came home and felt like super drained and stuff. And I remember just thinking like, I don't always know like the best way to answer a lot of their questions, or like the best questions to ask them even and stuff like that. That's why I love your guys' comments. You guys should definitely let me know what kind of questions you would want to know. Like if you had 10 minutes worth an insider and you could ask them anything you want, and they, according to like they claim, they will answer as honestly as they can. They will do their very best to just let you know how they feel, what they feel is true and what they feel is right, and everything that from their perspective, you know. And if you could just ask them whatever you wanted, what would you ask them, you know? What would you want to know? And so I'm kind of compiling questions and stuff to be able to ask them, and questions to really make them think, you know, make them have to maybe not just like questions that they've been asked all the time in the order, or that they've thought about a ton, but questions that really make them think about why they truly believe in what they're believing in, maybe what has made them question things in their past, or what's made them, um, I don't know, like seek out figuring out the truth and stuff like that. That's where I need you guys' help for sure. But let me share one example, because I was asking. Oh, and one of them was saying that I'll do the interview with you, but we could only say, I'm only going to answer or like talk about good things about the order. I don't want to I want you to ask any questions that are controversial, any of this and that and whatnot. And I was like, well, Flip, that's not going to be a very great interview. No offense, but like, I get it. We could talk all day about how there's so many kids and moms try their best to raise their kids and moms are so dedicated and supported. Sure, but I feel like the big question is like, what are the dads doing? You know, why do the dads live the way that they are? What's the deal with the way that the men are so controlling and stuff? You know, there's like the questions that actually matter are going to be a little bit controversial and stuff like that. So yeah, not all of the interviews are going to actually happen because some of them just aren't gonna. I don't feel like it's gonna quite be worth it, you know. But okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to share this in the best light. I am not the best communicator. I feel like I have the great opportunity to do these YouTube videos, to be kind of a little bit of a mediator to the order members and to the outsiders that are trying to like learn more, that are super interested and fascinated by these things. And to when order members want to leave, I'm a little bit of a mediator, I guess you could say. You know, I help introduce them to the outside world, try to I don't know, help them in any way that I can. That being said, I am not the best at it. I am not the best communicator. I Anyways, okay, let's just jump into the question. I'm probably gonna butcher this, but I was asking them a lot of questions about like, even though the order is hard, like a lot of things that they're going through, they've been able to support them And a lot of the times they've been able to support the order, and like find ways to believe that it's right. And so I asked them a question that was along the lines of, I noticed that you answer a lot of the times with like saying that you personally feel this way, but you know that you need to feel this way. And they they I was trying to just kind of like point out the fact that a lot of order members, they kind of ignore their own inner personal feelings or what they feel like they believe and stuff like that. And they focus more on what they feel like they're supposed to believe, what they feel like they need to know or think that is right. And that doesn't bother a lot of them. And was asking them questions about that, about why do they think so much that they kind of ignore their own feelings and they just focus on what they are told that they need to um, think is right or like be happy about and stuff like that. And they answered, well, I don't remember the exact question I asked, but I asked them something about like, so I feel like deep down you guys maybe know that it's not 100% right, because a lot of their answers kind of hint towards that they personally don't feel like the order is right, but they know there's going to maybe be something that's worth it in the end. But with one of them, they even straight out they said like they don't fully feel like it's the right place. They feel like their family is there and so they need to be there. And they said, um, I'm not like quoting or anything because I don't know the exact wording, but they said something along the lines of like, even if the order is hell, like, just to be with my family, I'll go through hell. I'll go to hell with them because I'll be with them. And that really hit me hard. I was like, I don't know why, because I had a lot of mixed emotions on that. Okay, so first of all, a lot of the times, like I feel like that saying has been used in the other way. Like a lot of people that leave describe the order as hell a little bit, or like kind of use that as an analogy. But this is the first time I've heard someone be like, sure, kind of accepting the fact that maybe the order, like even they themselves referenced it as hell, maybe. And they thought of like, maybe if it is, that's okay. Like I'm with my family. And so, like, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is, like my family makes it worth it. And that the reason why that stuck out to me so much is because of like me being with my sisters, like they're my family, and like I'd go through anything for them. And like I in my own version of that, like I thought of like, if I was leaving the order and I might get sent to hell, like at least I was doing it with my sisters, or like I was figuring out my own path and not just letting, oh, one of the lights just turned off, oops. Anyways, and so then to hear an order person say that, I thought that was really interesting. I was like, I never thought that some of them, this isn't for everyone, just one perspective of it, was like they didn't really worry so much about it. They didn't necessarily think it was their ticket to heaven or anything like that. They just, if their family's going there, then that's where they wanted to go. And I remember that I just kind of stopped. I wasn't sure what to say to that. I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I don't know. That's why I feel like a lot of the times with these interviews, I'm going to get kind of like unsure of what questions to ask. I'm not sure how to respond on everything. So I think these interviews are a lot of the times just going to be like spewing stuff out there, like just asking questions, sharing their statements, sharing what they think about it, and just leave it at that. We're not going to come to very many conclusions, because I think if we try to conclude on things, we might argue because we both have different viewpoints, which is fine. We don't need to come to any conclusion, but I want to like get that information out. This is like the first time I've ever heard an insider could reference the order as kind of like a hell and still think that that's fine, like it's okay. And so yeah, anyways, stuff like that, that's what I feel like these interviews are going to do. And so I still think they'll be very interesting, but they're, who knows where they're going to go. They're going to go all over the place. It's going to be kind of wild. And it's going to be a lot up to you guys, because I mean, if you guys don't send me very many questions, most of the questions are just going to be the ones that I come up with, or I think that you guys want to know or are interesting and stuff like that. But anything you guys can share, anything you guys want to know, any questions you have, send them in the comments. And yeah, I'll try to keep track of as many of them as I can. Okay, let's see what you guys are asking. Sorry. That was definitely a rant, because this week, that's what's been on my mind a lot. I've been talking with them, And I realized like I before it was like I want to just I was sharing all this stuff, being like, oh, I want to meet up with all these people in the order. I'll talk with you. I'll have these interviews, but I wasn't having that many interviews at the time. So like I was a lot more excited and enthusiastic about it. But now that I'm actually talking to them and meeting them, it's been like bringing back up a lot of trauma and like making me like think of like, man, how do I address that? What do I say to that? Like there's just a lot of things, and I'm not the best spokesperson. I'm not good at like figuring out how to get people to like dive deep into their thoughts and stuff like that. So, anyways, um, agree that it should be alive. They're just having an opinion. What's wrong with that? Lulu K, technically you could do it live if you suck helium. I'm here, but I'm also watching basketball playoffs. Is it still March Madness stuff going on? I don't know how long that goes for, but I know it gets popular. Like I said before, all people deserve to have their voices heard. Whether we agree with them or not is our opinion, but we should allow them to voice their opinions just like we do. Thank you, Kim. Yes, I agree 100%. And that's why I don't really want to have any like rules or guidelines for them. I want the interviews to be raw, just straight up, say it how they feel, say whatever they want. And then I just want all of us, like everyone needs to know when you get information, when you're told new things, you take it with a grain of salt, Like you understand that they may be a little bit biased, or you understand that they have way different life experiences than a lot of us, and so their answers will be a certain way, or like they may think of things differently. But the reason why I think these interviews will be so valuable is because we'll still get to see what their thought process is. Maybe like just the way that they answer things will tell us a lot about the person, or maybe like give us an insight to what the current insiders think about, or like how they answer their questions, what they find important. When you ask a question that's kind of broad, you can see what they specifically focus on in their answer, or what things they address, to know kind of like what they're thinking about, what stands out to them in those questions. So I still think the interviews will be fascinating. It just, yeah, they're just going to be done in an interesting way. That's all, really. When I want to know, do they really love their wives? That's going to be a tough one, because I the people that I have potentially lined up to be able to do these interviews with, none of them have multiple wives. So that's the thing. I do have one boy and one girl though, and so it's gonna be cool to like hear different answers from these different perspectives. But one of them is, I don't know if I should say, but anyway, I'm just gonna say. Anyways, one of them is a second wife, and one of them is a guy, and he's not married. So it's a little bit different. And there's gonna be, let's see. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. There is one other girl that's the first wife too, that potentially she said she might. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to just interview anyone that I can, basically. See how it goes. It's gonna be different for each one. That's why I think it is good to have more than just one interview, because, like I said, it's gonna depend a lot on their families, their specific situations, where they're coming from. But let's see. Something I'd love to hear is the differing points of view from men in the order and the women in the order. Yeah, exactly. Thanks. That's a great comment. That's why I thought it was really crucial to try to get one of each gender at least, um, and then hopefully more in the future, just to see how that goes. But I wonder if there's a voice changing app for your phone. I'm sure there is. Yeah, I have a voice changer on my video app, my video editor that I have right now. So that's the one I'm planning to try out first. Hey Eskel, what's up, Aaron? I have trouble asking questions because I don't want to make someone feel uncomfortable about sharing their story. That's a good point, Crystal. That's where it's gonna be difficult too, because I just want to be like a friendly guy, and I just want to like have a good time with them. But they're, even just with these, like letting them know, just like the general questions, a lot of them have gotten really sad, and a lot of the answers are like hard to hear, and sometimes they don't even want to finish. They'll share things that kind of trigger things in their thoughts, and just kind of stop and they ask, what's the next question? Or like, can we skip this question and stuff like that? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't want to like bring up trauma for them, and I hate the fact that it's like so much. It's really hard to talk about life in a cult or your personal experiences without there being a lot of sadness to it, a lot of hard times, and yeah, so it is tough. It's definitely going to be hard to get through all the questions, and we maybe won't go through all the questions. We'll just have to play it by ear and see how it goes. What they like the most about the order, and what do they hate the most. Yeah, see, I think that's fair. I think we definitely want to be able to let them share what they think is positive, what they want to bring up, basically. But we also want, like, we got to face reality. We got to know that everything's not perfect. We want them to be able to share some of the things that they don't like along with the things that they do like. Because if you said, oh, everything's great and there's only good things, then you're lying. You're just, that's straight up. That's there's always going to be hard things. Thank you, Caroline. Working on the templates and resources for you right now. Do most people in the order have their birth certificates, driver's license, or state ID? Pretty much all of them have a state ID because all of them are driving as soon as they can. Everyone in the order loves to drive because they get that little taste of freedom. With birth certificates and social securities, then of course, everyone has them, but sometimes they don't get to get them when they leave. So that's the tough thing. Because it's usually the parents that have them or something, and so it's not always the easiest to access them. But I think generally, I don't know, they should have access to them, but that's a tough one. I hope that answers that question. I can provide links for how to get that stuff if needed. Heck yeah, that would be awesome, Caroline. Social securities. Um, I thought the same thing. LOL. I thought they were going to go 4-0 in the series, but now I'm getting nervous. What do you mean? 4-0 in the series? Yes, I cannot wait to hear the different points of views of men and women who are in the order. I am so interested in hearing about their life experiences. How did you build a support network after leaving? Where and how did you find people or make friends with outsiders? Hmm, that's a great question for someone that's left. I think that'll be a good one. I'll add that to my list of interview questions for like just regular ones, like when I interview Jacob and stuff like that. I think that a pre-recorded with a premiere option so you can chat too would be beneficial. That way they can answer honestly and not feel the heat of hearing people comment as they are speaking. That brings up a good idea because one person asked, could you do a live how you normally do where it's just me, but they have that person, like I would have that person on the phone, and so you guys can ask your questions, or like I can have a list of questions to ask. I can ask that person and they can just answer them right then and there, so it'll be like instantaneous and like right in that moment, but they won't have to be here at all. They can just either be on the phone, or they can even just be like sending the messages or things like that, and it'll still be instantaneous, but they can be anywhere. They don't have to necessarily be here. I've considered that. I think that could potentially work. The hardest thing about that is if they're not on the phone, they would be texting, and texting takes way, or like messaging. Texting or typing takes way longer than just verbally saying whatever it is. And then if it was on the phone, they would literally be telling me, and then I would have to reiterate it and stuff like that. Which I think that could be interesting, but it would be a lot cooler to try and have them, even if they are just behind the camera, but they could be right here, interview style, and just talking about it and stuff. But yeah, that's a potential possibility as well. I only suggested guidelines, but last week the convo switched from a convo to arguing. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't think any of these will be live, of course. I think they're just going to be recorded, and then if it goes well, then I'll post it. If it doesn't, then I'll just delete it. It's not a big deal. Mouse fan and Golden State fan, but Mouse first. LOL, because I have to reap where I live. Hmm. As someone watching 5 hours of Children God documentary, having an order member on would be beyond fascinating to me. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. It would be cool if, like, that's why I was really trying to get some sort of representative, because it would be awesome to have someone that doesn't mind showing their face, you know? Someone that um, wants to proudly like share their beliefs in the order. I think it's just really odd to me that the order doesn't want some representative or someone like letting the letting people know about them or supposedly sharing all the good things that the order is doing and addressing the questions and sharing their perspective on it, you know? Because if they are a religious organization and they're spiritual and Christ-like, I would think they would be fine with sharing that. But I have a weird question. You guys call some people cousins, some siblings, and some friends, but a lot of your friends are also cousins or siblings. Why do you call some of your cousins versus friends? Oh, that's a good question, man. I think it's mostly be just to kind of like somewhat organize how it all is because literally everyone in the order is related. We're all related in some way or another, but it's like you can't just call everyone your cousin, I feel like, or like you can't. I mean, I guess of course you could, but I feel like it would get too confusing to just have only one category. How it was for me in the order, and I think just in general, then we even our half siblings most of the time you would just address them. Oh well, that's tough because yeah, when the few times I did interact with outsiders, then yeah, I would be like they're my cousin. But like to order members, I'd be like, oh, it's my half brother or my half sister or whatever, you know. And it would be, of course, if it was like brother Paul's kids, they were my straight up my first cousins. But I never really called them my cousins because it was like, oh, he's my friend. We hang out, we go to school together. We were like, I don't know. Um, hmm. Now I think about this, is kind of hard to explain because it really just kind of depended on the situation. Um, Now that I'm on the outside describing things, I definitely try to categorize it in a way to keep it simple for you guys. Because if I say they're my sibling, I usually mean they're my direct first sibling. Like they are from my mom. We're all the same. We are first siblings. Like, yeah, they are. Wow, that is confusing. Anyways, yeah, first siblings, and then if they're my half brothers, then that means they're from one of the other moms. And then if they're my cousin, that can be anybody else in the whole order, pretty much. So, yeah. Um, I hope that answered that question. That one's a little bit hard to answer, but yeah. I guess we really just use that to try and simplify it, I guess, make a little more sense of it because it can get very confusing. Oh, Amber says it is not March Madness, it's the NBA. Okay, that's cool. Hey guys, it's me, Go Mavericks. Nice. I'm a Sixers fan, and the Suns are my second favorite. And for those that left marriages or kids, also, did you ever consider going back? How do you stay strong in those moments? Ooh, those are some really good questions. It's pretty rare that a mom ever leaves the kids because most of the time the dad is not even legally, on the birth certificates of the kids. So if the mom leaves or gets a divorce, the kids go with her. It's super rare that it happens any other way, but it's also rare that a mom leaves and stuff like that and like has a ton of kids to take with her and stuff. So, um, but that's a good question. Have you ever considered going back? See, that's another great one for people that have left. I wonder. I'm sure it's different for everyone. I never have just because of my dad, the whole situation I have with him. But I would imagine there's some people that would consider going back because, like I said, there's some families in the order that are a lot better taken care of, that have way less restrictions, that aren't as like, what's the word? Just strict, I guess, as a lot of the other families in the order. So I'd imagine if some of those kids left, then they would consider going back. Because also, it's easier to like talk to your family. You don't have as much hate for that, you know. You're able to have more connections with your family and stuff like that. Shoot, how long has it been? Can anyone post how long the live's been? Mine, for some reason, doesn't show the amount of time for it. I don't know why. I genuinely think doing a pre-record video would be safer than a live. It would be less pressure and more controlled. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Because also, you guys, I'm taking a huge risk on this because literally any order member, like I'm not like interviewing them ahead of time or like figuring out um, what's the word it's just anyone in the order that messages me. Like I'm literally just like, okay, let's meet up, and that's a little bit scary. I mean, I'm not. I don't believe like anything crazy or well, I'm sure crazy things might happen, but I'm just kind of like taking a leap of faith. You know, I'm just seeing like, how's it gonna go? I'm just gonna meet up with these people, gonna figure out how it goes and stuff, and like just go with it. So it's gonna be interesting. Anyways, sorry, I lose my train of thought a lot. I have a cousin I call my friend, as I definitely her as more of a friend than my cousin, if that makes sense. Yeah, see, that makes sense, Alice. I feel like when, even if you have other relationships or connections to them, if you have a really good friendship, then addressing them as a friend is kind of like, a badge of honor. It's a little bit more important than whatever the other relationship to them might be. How to budget. Where to find the best and most affordable prices for things. Hey, that's a really good question. Um, I wonder. I feel like in general, most order members are very budget friendly. They don't spend a lot. They scrimp, they save, they work a ton, and so I think that would be a good one to ask them. It'd be interesting to see all of the ways they found to save. Like which ones have gone as extreme as dumpster diving and stuff like that. I think that would be really interesting. How to do well in college. That's a good one. Helpful for those inside the cult. Amanda Ray, what are some other resources people leaving the order need? That's a great question. Oh, Denise, yeah. For your comment, not all the order members know about holding out help, and that's why I think Amanda advertises it so much and we bring it up in our channels a lot, because most of it comes down to information, having the right information. If you know the right people and the right way to network, you can usually get way more help, and you would not believe a lot of the things that the orders say about like when you leave you're just going to become homeless, everything's going to be super hard, you'll never um, succeed and stuff like that. If you have the right resources, if you have the right connections, it's just knowing the right people, getting connected with them. There's so much resources out here. There's a lot of help. um, 1 hour and 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Heck yeah. Okay, wow, we've gone pretty long and I didn't even get to the last comments, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Are you guys okay with that? I know it might be a teeny bit controversial, but one of my favorite things about my channel is that it's a little bit smaller than Amanda's, and I can address almost every single comment that is brought up. Just about. I know I can't quite do that yet, but I went back to the last video and looked at all the comments, and we addressed a lot of them in the last video, but there was a few that I wasn't able to, and they were really good. Like, I super appreciate you guys putting deep thought into the comments that you guys have, and you guys bring up some really good points. I love being able to hear from you guys and get really good ideas on what to ask, what things to like ponder about, what really is like fascinating to people, what helps us to be able to have a good discussion, basically. So I took a lot of those comments that you guys had, and I just want to go through them. We're almost getting close to the end of this live, so I want to bring these up from the last live just so that you guys know, like, I love you guys' comments. I always want to be able to address every single one of them. I don't always have time for that, but I will do my best. So, let's see. The first one that I had was okay, we're gonna probably go through this one pretty quick because I think we addressed it. I can't remember, but I took this one down just because I feel like this was generally asked more than once, and they asked the Adam God theory, like where did that come from? Does the order believe in it? And that one originally came from Brigham Young belief, talking about how Adam is essentially God, and he's the father of the whole earth and all that stuff, you know, and so yes, the order does believe in that, and they teach that, and it originally came from the LDS Church through Brigham Young and all of that. What are the connections with people in the order now that you are out? So for me personally, I'm going to assume you're talking about that. For me personally, the order members, my connections with them, it changes almost on a day-to-day basis, mostly because of this channel now. I feel like some of them reach out to me and I make new connections with them. And I feel like a lot of my old friends or even like some of my siblings, they kind of stop associating with me because I have this channel now and stuff like that. Like my mom completely cut me off for a little while because she was upset. Luckily, she's been a little bit nicer. I took her out for Mother's Day. It was nice catching up with her. she, yeah, she was really, she goes back and forth a lot, but at least as of right now, in this moment, she loves hanging out with me. Like, things are great. We're on good standing for now, so we'll see how that goes. But anyways, happy Mother's Day, Mom. I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, happy Mother's Day. I combed my hair for you. That was her one request. She said, if you could do me one favor, please comb your hair. I don't know why, but she's funny. She's the things that she thinks about. And then Pamela asks, may I ask why you choose not to drink? I like that question. We talked about it a little bit last time, but I still picked this comment out of the last one because I didn't get to talk very much about my personal beliefs on it. Because I shared how I just don't want to be judgmental, you know? Like, I want people to understand that they can believe what they want, and people can handle things maybe better than I can, you know? It's different for everyone, and you are the only one that can decide what's right for you. So I don't want to have any say in that. For me personally, what I let people know is that I simply choose not to because I have been around a lot of, like, I guess, what's the word for it? I haven't been like in accidents personally and stuff like that. I've been in other related accidents, but anyway, I've seen and I feel like I've been aware of a lot of accidents caused by drunk drivers, and just a lot of, not necessarily just car accidents, but just a lot of things that people have told me that they regret doing under the influence and stuff like that. And I've gone so many years of my life not ever drinking, so I've just decided that if it's something that I can just avoid my whole life, I don't really feel like I'm missing out all that much. So that's just my choice. I'm just gonna go with that because I feel like there's a little, I don't know. For me personally, I just feel like that's going to be the easiest for me because I don't have the addiction. I don't even know what it's like and stuff like that. So it'd be super easy for me to just not ever try it. And a lot of people ask, well, why not just try it? Then you can figure out if you like it or not. And that's just simply because I've heard a lot of stories from people that regret things that they've done. And so I'm just like, I know I have a very addictive personality, so I just feel like it's okay for me. I'm just going to not want to ever have to fight that addiction or have to overcome it or anything like that. I'd rather just never start it. So that's how it is for me. I know everyone's different, and I respect everyone's decisions 100%. Lyle Cortez shared Utah curfews. Oh, yes. This one was super interesting. Okay, so last time we had big old arguments. A lot of things were going on. I don't know who this Lyle Cortez person is. I honestly, I can't even tell if he was like supporting Jacob or if he was upset at Jacob. I'm not sure. You guys tell me. But he basically was saying, you know, like maybe your mom wasn't being super rude or whatever. Like there's laws for minors in Utah. Like you have to follow the laws. And so I looked it up, and there are like minors, anyone under 18 are supposed to be home by midnight and can't be out before like 5 a.m. or something like that. So yeah, he was just sharing that. And so my thought on that is, I don't know if he was like saying like, oh, your mom kicked you out, like she basically forced you to break a law. Because from what I remember, Jacob was trying to get home like around like 10 or 11 or something like that. So it'd be before the curfew, and that also doesn't necessarily apply to his situation because the law is only for public places such as grocery stores, um, I guess whatever's considered public places. But he was just at his friend's house, so that wouldn't really apply to him. Um, but yeah, and it was I think his situation is totally different because like he got locked out of his house. Like that kind of sucks, you know. I don't think he was trying to break any laws or anything like that. It's just the situation it was in. It was kind of crappy, and that's what happened. But okay, this next one's really interesting. Like I said, I talk about religion all the time. I don't know a ton about other people's religion, but I think it's fascinating learning. And somebody shared a lot of information about Scientology. So I just wanted to share what they said here. Let me see. Um, yeah, they were talking about similarities and things that they noticed from Scientology that reminded him about the stuff that we share about the order. And give me one moment. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. And you guys tell me if you think this is interesting because I was going through it and I looked up some of the stuff myself, but they describe Scientology as a religion to help people use scientific approaches to self-actuate their full potential. And the believers reach their full potential when they understand themselves in their true relationship to the physical universe and the supreme being. So that's kind of like what the definition of Scientology, how they address themselves, what their like title, quote, or saying is for it. Um, and then they were sharing information like the founder of Scientology is L. Ron Hubbard, who was very well known for his science fiction writing, and they kind of relate that to like he created his own religion off of his writings and things like that. And a lot of people think it's skeptical because he was a science fiction, and so a lot of his stuff could be made up, and then he maybe created something so good that he created a religion off of it. Who knows? But that's just kind of what they were sharing about it. They also shared that one of the major concerns of the Scientology group is their membership auditing process. They ask very personal questions and keep very detailed records, and it's oftentimes about their personal sexual lives or usually things they consider sins or like don't want people to know about. And there's been many ex members that have said they use this information kind of like blackmail to try and keep them inside of their organization. Now that seems scary. I don't know if that's true or anything, but that sounds like one of the, I guess, what do you call that? A tactic, I guess. Anyways, that sounds very possible. You know, a lot of religions have those, where you tell your sins or like you confess stuff and whatnot. And if a religion tried to use that against the people, that would be pretty messed up for sure. It is well known for, Scientology is well known for always preparing for an apocalypse. Okay, I don't think that one's too crazy. I remember the Order was all about preparing for an apocalypse. I feel like, I don't know, they weren't that great at it, I guess, but they were always like, oh, if the world's going to come to an end, or like, if the world's falling apart, we're going to be the ones saved, and we're going to be the ones that need to be prepared and like be able to survive through the apocalypse and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that might be a common thing just amongst a lot of religions. I think. I don't know though. But anyways. Okay, next one. Alice Evelyn asked, are there many families or people in the Order who would accept help, and could you start an Amazon wish list? Yes, that's what I was kind of getting to at the beginning of this. I do have an Amazon wish list. I don't really know how to share it to people. I think I'd have to share it individually. So if anyone wants to DM me on Instagram, let me know if you would like to get that list. I think that would be awesome, because that list is literally, I'm able to just ask people directly what would be really to them, what could they use, what like specific things that they aren't already getting through holding out help, or like, there's a ton of people that are sending toothpaste and like really basic essentials already. So I'm trying to get more of like specific things that they might need. But thank you, Alice. I really appreciate all you guys sharing supportive comments, asking ways to help, just wanting to be there and support the channel. I think that's awesome. Okay, this next one's really interesting. It's kind of all over the place, but it was a really funny story, so I really want to share it. It's from Susan. Susan has been really nice. She seems like they have shared a lot of really good stuff, so I wanted to share. They say, I'm a Methodist Christian, generic Protestant. I moved to Pennsylvania from California and met a lot of pagans, I think is how you say it. One lady I worked with was having a, dang, it's spelled wrong, but I think it's pagan or just a type of religion or something. They were having a party, and while they were visiting and at that party, there were two Mormon missionaries that came up to the door and asked if they could talk to them about God. And one of the younger or teenagers in the group went over to the door and decided to scare off the missionaries. And they said, "Oh, we don't believe in Christianity. In fact, we are going to sacrifice a virgin to our gods. And would you like to join us? It's a very great ceremony." The missionaries politely declined and quickly went away. I just thought, sorry, maybe that's not funny to all you guys, but I was reading I read like all the comments you guys post. This one was really funny, and I thought that gave me a good laugh, so I want to share that with you all. But yeah, that's all of it. Those are the main ones that I want to share. I take the time to share these because I want you guys to know that I read all of them, that I love being able to bring them up. If you guys share any great ideas or really good questions, I will do my very best to share them. I think lives are the best when they can be more interactive and have you guys like commenting, and I can read your comments and we can address like the questions you guys have and stuff like that. And I think the best conversations are when you get a lot of people like sharing their ideas and kind of diving deep within their own minds, and we all just share kind of what we think, what our thoughts on it are. I think that's a lot of fun. And I know I have a little bit of ADHD and my mind jumps all over the place. I forget about a lot of stuff all the time. Um, all right, we're close to the end. Let me just see if there's any last comments to share. And we will go from there. Should ask them what would make them leave. A bit controversial though. Okay, someone wants me to ask them what would make you leave the order. I think that would be controversial, but I mean, it might be interesting. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it at least on one of the interviews and see if it goes well. But Flickr Fade right now, I'm basically doing a packet. One paper is a resume template. Right now, I'm making a list of resources to help. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Eskel, did you get to answer my comments? I don't want to spam. Oh, I think you asked something about Priscilla. I haven't done an interview with Priscilla just because she lives out of state. So it'd be really hard to do one with her, but I'm sure I could figure out a way to go and visit her, or when she is in town, try to have one with her. That would be a lot of fun. Adding more stuff as I go, but that's where I'm at right now. How would they get access to it? Are you comfortable doing a video on what the LDS believe? Alice, yeah. If you guys are interested, I could totally do a video on like what the LDS believe, what kind of like my interactions with the LDS Church is, how I became a member and things like that. I feel like there's a ton of videos out there on it already. That's why I haven't done one. But if you guys want to, if you guys are interested or you guys have questions about that, feel free. Leave them in the comments. I'd love to address them and talk about them. One of my videos shared pictures from my mission and talked a little bit about that. And so I have briefly at least talked about it. Oh yay, I am so glad you got to see your mom on Mother's Day. Yeah, it was nice. I feel like, I mean, I love my mom. She's awesome. And I love all my siblings. We have a special connection. I mean, we all crawled out of her. So I feel like that's got to be something. My siblings are the ones that can relate to me more than anyone else really in the world. And so I'm like, I always want to stay close to them. I always want them to know that I love them and I want to be able to spend time with them. And I want to be able to help them in any way that I can. I want my mom to, I don't know, not try to avoid me or keep me away or anything like that. I want to be able to keep connected with them. And yeah, I don't know. It's very tough. Some days she gives me a hard time, but most days, it's really good. And I think we have a good time. So it's interesting. It's the hardest, I think, is the fact that like I I love her and I want to love her more and I want to be able to build such a great relationship with her, but it's really hard to when they're still in the order. Not only because they're just there and it makes it a little bit more awkward and harder for me to visit, like when my dad's home and stuff, but I can't help but feel like they're supporting kind of things that aren't so good, I guess, you know? And so I'm like, I don't know. I want to. A part of me just like just ignore it, whatever. That your family just pretend that they're not in the order and hang out with them and have a good time. And then I do that, and every time with them, it's like I can't help but want to bring up like, what are their thoughts on their order? Is the order doing any better? Um, why is the order doing some of this stuff, you know? And I just can't help but want to bring up a lot of the things, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just tough. It's definitely an interesting dynamic for sure. But, anyways, um, I'll probably. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you got to spend time. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, Suzanne, welcome. You got here a little bit late, but I did share your comment from last time, that funny story that you commented. So hopefully you got to hear that. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for posting that. Hi, Eskel's mom. Happy Mother's Day. Heck yeah. Your music is so zen. Thank you. I literally just try to find like peaceful and like chill music because I don't want it to be super distracting and be too loud and stuff. But I like having music in the background. I feel like it just, I don't know, helps me to focus and just to feel good and stuff like that. My friend started, let's see. Wow. You need to watch Going Clear about Scientology. Huh. That sounds interesting. Let's see. Sorry. It's been a long one. I probably should just end this live, but I think there's just I haven't gone through all the comments yet, you guys. Sorry. I don't have other social media, but I believe you can post it on YouTube. Okay. They only say they are religion to get the tax break. Dinner is ready. Everybody, have a good night. See you next week. See you, Jennifer. Have a good one. You're such an interesting fellow. You have a good heart and it shines through. Good luck to you. So sad I missed the live again. Sundays are hard for me, but love you and your sister so much. Keep telling the truth. Yes, yes, totally agree. Support. Bye. I am back again. Jackie Lopez. Are you new to the channel? I feel like your picture looks familiar, but I don't know. It's hard to tell because they're kind of tiny. I'm in the middle of watching Going Clear. It's so good. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I don't watch a ton of shows. Oh, well, I haven't watched that many, and I used to always tell myself, "Oh, I don't have time." But now that I'm done with finals, I want to find good ones because I don't have. I'm not as busy as I used to be, so that's nice. What else was it? Let's see. Okay, I got a question for you guys. It is Mother's Day, so don't be biased on this answer, but are you guys closer to your mom or your dad? I I don't know. I've asked a lot of people this, and I've been kind of surprised to hear the answers because I thought like if you're a girl, you'll probably be closer to your dad. If you're a guy, you'll be closer to your mom. That's what I thought in my head because that's what I'm used to. But a ton of people, that's not the way. I know I've met a lot of girls now that I've asked this question to that are super close with their mom, and so I guess it's just different for everybody. I'm curious how it is for you all. But you can't say both, Dominic. I'm asking you, which one are you closer to? I get it, you love them both equally, yada yada, yeah, yeah, whatever. But usually, most people have a little bit of a favorite, but I'm a 50-50 girl. I'm a daddy's girl for sure, but my mom is my best friend. Ah, okay. I take it back, sure. You can love both, that's sweet. I wish that's how it was for me. I'm much closer to my mom. Okay, Caroline, you're closer to your mom? Heck yeah. That's cool. See, that happens for people. I think I I don't know what ages are like the most dramatic in someone's life, but I definitely truly believe myself that like certain times of your childhood will affect dramatically your relationship with your parents. So I think a lot of it depends on maybe certain things that you've gone through with them, or like certain experiences you've had, or if you've had dramatic effect experiences that maybe make you like one over the other, or make you not like one of them for some reason. I think it's kind of crazy. Dad, we have a different connection, and my mom and dad are still together. No one understands me better than my mother. Aww, that's really sweet. Heck yeah, she is incredible and gives the best life advice, and she is so good at listening and understanding. So, my mom. Dang, you guys. I love that. I think that's so sweet. It's weird. I love hearing things like this, and like it's so cool. I always want to hear those positive affirmations and like hear people's encouragement and their love and such great experiences that they have. And they always do. They make me feel good until I start thinking of my own relationships. And it's just like I need to just not worry about it and ignore it, but I always think about the fact that like with my mom, I always felt like she was so young, and a lot of our conversations I never got to really like confide in her that much. I didn't get to build like a super close relationship to her because she was struggling all the time. She was going through things like that made me not want to like bring up my problems to her, you know. I feel like I had to be the strong one and try to just be there for her and stuff. And so I I don't know. I don't want to say like I regret the missed opportunities and relationship building with my mom and stuff, but it's I don't know. Yeah, it's hard that it's not there fully, but I don't know. I love my mom and I appreciate all the things that she did for me, but I do wish that if we weren't in such a crazy environment, I think a lot things could have been a lot better. But I do, I mean, I gotta give her credit where credit is due. I think that she did really well for the circumstances and the hard background and craziness of her own life. I feel like she did pretty dang good. So, yeah, I think that's awesome. And I found other ways, like I have really good connections with the family that took me in. I have a lot of motherly figures that I look up to. I have a lot of people that I feel like I've been able to grow really close to. And I've got my sisters, you know, my sisters are like the best. My sisters have mothered me. I feel like I've had them to like lean on and support me so much when it comes to like just getting advice and like talking with them. They've been awesome. It's super cool. Oh, and it's different for everyone. I know people that don't even have a mom. You know, like it's you got to I don't know. You got to find the good everywhere you can and appreciate what you have for sure. And so I'm glad that my mom only sometimes doesn't want to hang out with me, but at least sometimes she does. So that's something. Guys and their dads, there's always some reserve there. I feel that can't be bridged. Doesn't mean you aren't close, but not as close as you can be with your mother. I agree. A lot of people I talk to, there's like something about it. Like their dad, they feel like they couldn't really be themselves around their dad, or like they just their dad maybe wasn't as loving and stuff. But moms are just really good at like being loving and like I don't know, helping you open up and be yourself and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. Um, Considering my father lied to my mom about leaving his wife and wanting to start a family with her before deciding. NBM and then never looking back. My mom. See, that's another thing. Everyone's got their stories, you guys. I feel like that's why it's, to me, no matter who you meet, no matter what stranger you might run into, I think it's so important to give them the chance to, become your friend, or to um, create a connection with them, and like to do stuff with them, or to I don't know, give them the benefit of the doubt all the time, because you never know what they're going through, what their past was like. And most of the time, when you give people the opportunity to share their story or to like open up with you will be surprised. I guarantee you. Everyone's got stuff that's worth sharing, and they have things that are unique to them that you could have never guessed. And I think it's just worth it. Everyone deserves that chance to be able to share their story, to be able to, not be judged, and not to maybe not, I don't know, get less opportunities just because of your first impression of them or anything like that. I think I've had so many times where I maybe met someone where I'm like, oh, maybe this person looks a little bit scary, or like I might want to avoid this person, but I think to myself like, screw it, no, I'm gonna just talk to them, or I'm gonna see how their day has been, or something like that, or try to just have a conversation with them, and then they become the nicest person ever, and like I want to be their best friend, just immediately. And it's like one conversation changed that. And if I didn't give that opportunity, I would have regretted it, and I would have never known what I missed out on. And so it's like, it's not worth it. Don't miss out on those good opportunities, you guys. Just remember that it's something you can't control. Um, Definitely a different connection. My mom is my rock, and my dad was the fun parent. Definitely a daddy's girl, but my mom will fight anyone over her baby girl. Aww, that's so cool. Let's see. Just remember that it's something you can't control. Oh, maybe that's a reference to something. Aw. See, I love you guys' comments. Thank you so much for being involved and sharing. Dang. Okay, sorry guys. I'm getting really tired and distracted a lot, so I'm probably gonna end this live. But this was a lot of fun, you guys. If I could keep my mind straight and all my thoughts straight, I feel like I would be able to stay a lot more focused and get to the points that I want to. But if nothing else, if you don't remember anything else from this live, just remember that I really want to be able to make a difference. I want to be able to help those that want to leave, and I have connections with people. I know I've been through a lot of those first steps of leaving a cult, trying to figure out new things, being super unsure and anxious about every flipping thing, that I want to be able to help someone that might be going through that. If it's as simple as just being able to be by their side as they're going through it, that's what my hope is. And so, if any of you guys know of ways that I can reach out to more people, or ways that I can help in either reaching a bigger audience, or being able to make it easier for people from the order to reach out and things like that. I feel like most of the order knows about our channels now. Most of them know that it is a resource and an option to be able to reach out to Amanda and I. And I'm so thankful and glad for that. I'm just looking for more ways to let them know that like I am prepared, and I am becoming more and more prepared every single day. Because of this last previous experience, I know that I want to be better prepared. I know a little bit more of how soon things like people might be reaching out to me, and so I don't. Before I just thought it would be a while anyway, so I'll get things ready when like I think someone might be leaving or something. But now I want to be ready ahead of time so that it'll be a lot easier. Things will go a lot more smoothly, and just a lot less stress. They're already going through a lot, so I think the more preparation I put into it, the better it'll be for sure. So, awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming into this live. I will try to go live on Patreon on Wednesday. And then I'm hoping to post a video this Saturday. But my videos, I always say it's just dependent on what the week goes like, because things always change. And even like the video opportunities. Sometimes will get changed, the people I'm doing it with, or like the stories that I'm telling. I might not be able to get through all of them. And so the videos, my Saturday videos that I used to always post, those are always just up in the air. We'll see kind of what happens with those. But every Sunday I go live. I know I'm always late. I'm really sorry about that. Today I told everyone 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and I was on at like 5:30 or something. I don't know what it is, but I just always end up being late. Heck yeah! Thanks, Flicker Fade. I will do that. Um, but yeah, you guys have been awesome. I think a ton of like ideas or like video ideas or different content ideas I get from you guys. So I really appreciate it. I love these interactions. These lives are actually really fun to me. I I don't have to do a ton of editing, so it's nice. The hardest part is coming up with different things to talk about. I go through like the different like updates that I want to share. I think about what might be interesting to you guys, what new questions you guys have, or different comments you guys have left in the last videos that I want to address and stuff like that. I love sharing with you guys the new information of when people leave, or like who I can help, or who's going to be on my channel next. I think that's always super exciting. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. And yeah, hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. This was fun. All right, guys, have a good one.